If you're on a phone or a tablet right now while you're listening to this episode, go to your app store and download the Couch to Active app. It really is the easiest way to listen to the podcast. Hey there, friends. It's your Bad Couch Guru, Lynn Limburg, and today is a top 10 list of the top 10 tips for May's podcast. Alrighty. This is the first time we're doing this little fun game specifically. And here's what it is. I went through and looked at all podcasts that we produced and put out for the month of May. And I made my top 10 list of tips that happen to come out from this podcast that will help you get moving, and a little bit about why each one is important. Now, it's not necessarily the top 10 podcasts, but it's the top 10 tips for me that came out of all of it. We had a lot of them, but these are like specifically, here's a little tip to get you moving. Here's another tip to get you moving. Those kind of things. And so we're going to start with tip number 10 and go all the way up to what I believe was the number one tip that came out from this month. So ready? Here we go. Tip number 10, the sink squats. Sink squats was where we were standing in front of the sink, holding onto the counter and doing squats. And I loved this tip because one, it's really easy to do anywhere. Kitchen sink, bathroom sink, doesn't matter. And two, if you have a cupboard in front of your sink, it'll help keep your knees behind your toes. Number 9, abs anywhere. So we talked about how you can flex your abs and the proper form for doing that so you don't hurt your pelvic floor, but you're actually supporting your pelvic floor and your entire abdominal region. And the reason I like that one is because you can literally do it anywhere, and it supports good posture, which is something we need for our whole life. Number 8, a martini, shaken, not stirred. Now, I have to say, this is number 1 on my list of ones that made me smile. I don't know why, I just thought it was fun. But here's another quick tip of a way you can shake that martini shaker. And we had ideas, even if you aren't a drinker, but you can shake that martini shaker and get in some good little arm and tricep work in there. So that's number 8 for you. Number 7, starting over again. So this one is, I really think should be like a whole course in and of itself, but it's talking about how the marketing industry is already starting to hit us with new normal. What's your new normal going to be? And we want to get ahead of that. You want to get ahead of thinking about how movement will look, how it will look in your life, and don't let marketing brainwash you into or guilt you or shame you into doing something that's really not going to stick because it's not making you have a more fulfilled life. So that's number 7, starting over. Number 6, geocaching. This is an oldie goodie that's been around for a really long time. Geocaching is awesome because pretty much anybody can do it. You only need one, and it's a walking activity. And you only need one person to do it. It's like a world's greatest treasure hunt. And actually, you only need one person who knows what they're doing to do it. And then everybody can join in. Grandma can join in. Uncle Joe can join in. Anybody can join in. Little kids, toddlers can join in. It's really pretty cool. Why I like that one is because of the multi-generational fact. And that it's just fun. It's just fun. So you don't feel like you're exercising. You're just having fun. All right. Number 5, heel raises. This was actually yesterday's episode where we talked about challenging your calves and how to do it. And the reason this one is important, and I love this tip, is because, again, easy. You can do it anywhere. And we talk specifically about how to safely get your muscles fatigued enough that you have DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, so you can get comfortable and accustomed to what that is if that's a new thing for you. All right, then number 4, full range of motion. So that is the tip, that where you basically just take all your joints and put them through the full range of motion very gently, very carefully. It should feel good. It shouldn't hurt at all. You do that, at least once a day. This one I love, and it's really important because our range of motion we lose as we age a tiny, tiny, tiny bit at a time, like tiny bit at a time. And the full range of motion is something you can do that is easy, is not work, and is going to really help you long term. So do something easy that feels good and it helps you long term. I like it. Number 3, we brought on Heather Denniston, who talked about the jump rope for women community. This one I love right now because seriously, folks, this community is on fire. I've been watching it and following it, and there are women who are posting their day 1 jump roping video and then their like day 14 jump roping video. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's a really supportive group that's just really great. So if you're thinking at all like you want a supportive group to join that's hot right now, that's the one for you. Okay, two more. Number 2 tip, the hashtag quarantine15 by Tanya Mark. She's a reporter, and we talked about this hashtag and the shaming and the fat shaming around gaining weight during quarantine and how it works against your goals of health and fitness. But we talked about it not in the context of shaming people for gaining weight, but in the context of recognizing and honoring the fact that we really are in a traumatic situation. For a lot of folks, we really are in, just one of the toughest times in our countries, and that we need to give each other and ourselves some grace around this. And know, if you put on a few pounds during quarantine, like, so what? I'll work with you. I'll help you. I mean, it's okay. And you know me, I am agnostic when it comes to, whether you should throw your scale away or not or whatever. I really want people to do what's best for them in that. And the quarantine 15 is one where we just want to pause and make sure that we're not shaming ourselves and hurting ourselves psychologically when we make those jokes. I know sometimes you need to joke just to joke, and I get it, but I think a lot of it is rooted in shame. So we want to be careful of that. All right. And then of all the podcasts this month, the one that inspired me the most was Shannon Williamson on being brave. And that was the guest we brought in on May 7th, where Shannon Williamson Dancing Again, where she tells her story of how she started dancing again when she hadn't for a really long time. And she had to be really brave. And she ended up in a dance class where here she is in her 40s and she's in this class with a bunch of teenagers, and they don't necessarily accept her with open arms right away, like a normal teenager. And Shannon talks about it and tells her story about how it ended up being one of the most rewarding, exciting, life-filling experiences of that year for her. And it just happened to include a whole lot of exercise. So there we go, folks. There's our top 10 tips for moving from the month of May podcast. So do go back, scroll through. There are, 25 podcasts from last month, all about 5 to 7 minutes each. And tomorrow, or the next podcast, we are going to look at our June month ahead and start making our exercise plans. Alrighty, friends. I hope you had a wonderful May. Write in. Let me know how it's going. Let me know what your questions are. And we'll see you in June. Bye-bye now. If you haven't been to the Couch to Active website yet, you are missing out. Head on over there now, couch2active.com and learn about how I can help you get that active lifestyle finally going in a way that'll also help you smile. How great is that? couch2active.com.